Hi friends, hope you're all well and thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk about how to choose your best life and what is the best choice for you. We are all very different. We are all on different levels of learning on this earth. And so, what serves you the best? How can you achieve optimum health, optimum mental health, optimum happiness, optimum creativity, optimum joy for what you do, and love for what you do every day? How do you even achieve that when most of us have to go to work, when we need a roof over our head and to eat and to function in normal life? How do we become aware of what's actually the best choice? Actually, I'm going to say this: the optimum choice for what we do every day. Sometimes life doesn't go the way we plan, and certain things we don't actually have control over. But what we have control over, in instances that brings situations to us that we didn't manifest and we didn't manufacture, our choice then is how we respond, whether we react in fear or anger or sadness or resentment or guilt or anything else. Or do we respond to someone else's anger in a beneficial way? Like, don't take their anger on you, and maybe just walk away until that person has calmed down. Or don't take on somebody else's blame for something that you haven't done or should not be guilty over, because they want you to feel guilty so they can feel better about themselves. You have a choice to respond, not react, to respond. Because if you react, it's usually from emotion. And if we are not in control of our emotions, then we can find ourselves in a situation where it's messy and we didn't mean what we said. We didn't want to whatever happened to happen. And so therefore it's important to take a step back, breathe, and go, I'm sorry, what is it that you're blaming me for something that you did? And so blame, I'm going to just lightly touch on that. Blame is somebody else's pain that they carry inside. And so to release some of that pain, they often cause blame to come out on others. It's always somebody else's fault that they did what they did, or what happened to them. It's your fault. This is because this person is in pain in some sort. And that is not your problem. And so you've got to be very mindful, because that person is struggling, obviously struggling with their own pain. And so rather than reacting and screaming and telling that person that they're awful and blah, 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 you're horrible and how can you blame me and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, just have a step back and say, it is unfair that you blame me for something that you did, because I have no involvement in this. I may have been here, but that wasn't my fault. That is something that you did, that you need to take responsibility for, and not forward a blame on somebody else. Then if that person is angry or get angrier with you because you're not taking on their blame, their painful energy, you're refusing that energy, they might become more angry. And what is the point to do then? Just walk away. Just walk away. And if that person becomes angrier because you walk away, then just leave. Because if that is your intimate partner, then that's not the right person for you. And so, how do I know this? Because I've had a couple of those. And so I know exactly how quickly it can escalate, and how quickly it escalated if you protect yourself. If you take on the blame that they forward to you, then they feel better about themselves. But how do you feel? That makes you feel like you're sitting in the gutter. And do you take that blame? You should not. You just shouldn't. Unless you have done something, and then that blame is correct. And then you have to stick your hand up and say, well, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, or I didn't think, or something. But own up and then it's time for you to take responsibility for your own actions. But there is a choice. Going back to the subject of the video, is the choice. How to choose how to respond for your own well-being, for your own optimum life. And sometimes if stuff happens and we're excited, we're going to go somewhere, and there's usually if there's a group, or if you feel that you are in some way, shape or form subservient to another, then it's much easier for them to control you and what happens during that day and in the company of those people. And having an intimate partner is beautiful if you are with the right partner. If you are with a wrong partner, it can be hell on earth and anything in between. So having an intimate partner that is beautiful and supporting, and you are supporting and beautiful towards them. It's a two-way street, not a one-way street. And that partner says, let's go skydiving. Ooh. No, but I'll watch. You can go skydiving, but I will watch, because that is not something that resonates with what I want to do. It doesn't mean that I'm a chicken. It means that I just wouldn't enjoy the fear, because I know it would cause me fear, and I would rather do something else. If I had to jump out of an aeroplane, I would do so under critical circumstances. I have no problem with that, but for leisure, I'd rather do something else. But I'll watch and be the pom-pom support person, right? And so I would say, after you've gone skydiving, let's go to a mystical garden somewhere and have a picnic. Right? And that loving person would go, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, it's not frightening. It can be. But you get my drift. But if you have a partner that likes to blame, he wanted to go skydiving, and I said, no, I'll watch. But he wasn't happy until you went skydiving as well. And then he would blame his unhappy day. His unhappy day because of you. Because he didn't get the full experience. Because you didn't go skydiving. And then we went to the mystical garden under gun threat, right? And every experience in this mystical garden was just useless and awful. And what on earth are we doing here? You must be stupid. There is a difference of choice. There is a difference on what serves you and how you can in turn serve somebody while also feeling fantastic. Now, how do we actually become aware of and not just go with the flow? Take a step back and think about, and don't be afraid to say. Because if you're afraid, then that comes another point. Why are you afraid to say something? Why are you afraid to say no? Where does that come from? Is that being fearful of being looked at in the wrong way, or then you have to figure that one out? But be brave enough to say, no, I don't actually want to, because it doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve my best life. And so, what is that best life? What is it? It should be, and you'll probably find that if you really look deeply, everybody wants to be happy. And whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you happy and peaceful and joyful and doing things from love is what the optimum life would be, rather than be in pain, feeling guilt, feeling fear, feeling like you have to do something that you don't want to. So there is a choice, and everything has a choice. Your airline hostess comes past and go, tea, coffee, tea. There's a choice. Do we want to go to Rajasthan or do we want to go to Egypt? There's a choice. Do I want to eat unhealthy fast food? Or do I want a home-cooked, nutritious meal? There is a choice. And if you look at those choices and say, if I go to a part of the world where there is war, rather than somewhere where there is peace and happiness, if I choose the destination of war, if I choose to eat fast food rather than nutritious home-cooked meal, if I choose an aggressive, abusive partner rather than a loving and supporting and beautiful partner, or if I choose something else that is on the dark side rather than the light, then you can see how you would potentially feel in the destination of war and darkness and fear, comparison to the destination of love and light and joy and happiness. What would you choose? And so sometimes we find ourselves in situations where all of a sudden there is fear or violence. I can't remember, it's quite some years ago now, that people in Melbourne were going about their normal day, and this fellow pulled out a knife and started stabbing people. That's not something that you manifested, right? Sometimes things happen that we have absolutely no control over. And so this fellow obviously had a lot of pain inside of him. And so he wanted everybody else to be in pain as well, to maybe make himself feel better, or to inflict pain on others for evilness that he felt. What's the choice? You always have a choice. You can stay and get stabbed, or you can freeze and get stabbed, or you can run away, far, far away, or you can collaborate with others, go around the back and we'll get him, right? And get a baseball bat, right? And hit him behind the knees and he will go down. It's as simple as that. You don't have to hit him over the head because you'll kill him, right? And then you will be the same as him. So make him collapse, then take the knife off him and then restrain him, and then help him to overcome his pain. So he can have a choice what he does with the rest of his life, for good or bad. And you also have to be very mindful that everybody has their own stuff that they go through. The more we live, the more we start to understand ourselves. And that's the whole point of this earth. It's a learning, it's a school for learning. Learning to understand who we actually are, and that we actually belong to the one thing. We're all the same, individualized to interact and learn with each other. Coming into this world with amnesia, so we don't remember. But once you do remember, we understand that we all come from the same place. And what is that place? That is the consciousness, universal consciousness. And so there are always choices to manifest your best optimum life that will serve you and in turn will serve others. Because if you're hateful and guilty of something, fearful and angry and violent, how does that affect everybody else around you? If you're happy and joyful and loving and caring, how does that affect everyone around you? And so it is so vitally important that you make the choice, the best choice for your optimum life. And so that choice will manifest in health, in beauty, in love, in joy, and in compassion for others, and positivity in your mind and thought processes. And therefore, your body will heal itself. Your body will heal itself because you are instigating joy and love and prosperity and abundance inside your body and outside in your external world. And that has an effect on others to do the same. It's a long journey, but we have to start. And it's amazing how when people understand the difference and can see the choices that they have and realization that why would I choose the being unhealthy, angry, in darkness and affecting everybody the same when I can choose, because you have that power. When I can choose love, light, happiness, joy, abundance of everything, why would you do that? Why would you choose the dark side? To suffer, when you can choose the light and happiness and joy, to be prosperous. Don't we all want to be prosperous and happy and joyful? I think so. I'm going to leave it here. Just a bit of a plug. I do one-on-one sessions. I am a coach. And if you have the inclination or wanting to work with me, then send me an email. I'll be happy to have a chat. And I would love to hear from you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And think of happiness and love and joy in your life. And your day will be so much more prosperous. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye.